Welcome to Humble Point Marina. There's various parking spaces dotted around the marina, but you'll find our office located adjacent to the ketch rigger. We look forward to welcoming you on your charter.
So you're going to, having picked up your boat, it's going to have details of where the boat is located, the marina gate code and the marina Wi-Fi code. There's going to be some details about the yacht here, along with what we would want you to do at the end of your charter. There's a useful information pack or sheet detailing some useful information that you might need during your charter. One of the really key things is our office hours number and the out of hours number, and also sea starts number. Then you've got the actual details of the boat and your handover paperwork. So when you go down to the boat, you just need to make a note of any scuffs or scratches that you can see on the outside of the yacht, and any notes that you have to do with the inside of the yacht, just mark on here. Once you're happy with that, a little signature. Run through the inventory on the boat. The red items are your safety stuff. Once you've been through this, and it does go on to 2 pages, ring the office and our fleet team will come down and talk you through from the pontoon anything else that you need to know. On the return of the charter, make sure that you're here an hour, 90 minutes to an hour before you're due to exit the yacht. There's some reminders in here about how we like the boat left. Let us know if you have refueled. In the joining instructions there's some details about the new requirements for refueling at MDL, so please do make sure that you follow those. Let us know if you've used the dinghy or if you've changed the gas, and then let us know if you've got any losses, breakages, damages or defects on your yacht. Just pop those in there. We do like to know about any defects so that we can make sure that we can fix them. And then once you're happy with that, a little signature. So when you're coming up to the office, you will we'll also work through all of your paperwork with regard to your security deposit and any additional paperwork that we've asked you to bring. If you need any optional extras, please, we do ask that you've ordered these in advance to make sure that we have them ready for you. Otherwise, and paid for in advance. Otherwise, we can sort those out while you're in the office and make sure that you've got everything and all the paperwork's taken care of.
Okay, so when you finish with Alex in the office, done your paperwork, when you come down to the boat, go on the boat and go to the red Bible first, which will be on the chart table, and make sure you go through all of the inventory to check that everything is there, paying special attention to what's written in red, because that is your safety equipment. Once you're happy with everything, then you can give the office a call and one of us will come down for you to sign the paperwork and to answer any of your questions, or anything you cannot find that's on the inventory we will find for you. So if you've got any questions, then we can answer all your questions and also give you tips on the best way of taking the boat out from the berth. Hi, my name's Andy. I'm one of the fleet engineers. So when you first come down to your boat, on the chart table will be a red folder. This is what I call the boat Bible. In the folder will be all the information about the boat and all the certificates needed on the boat for charter. So when we first open the book, it will have obviously the boat name, and then obviously the boat notes and ship's papers. On the next page will be the yacht specification, which gives you the yacht name, type of boat it is, year of build, the lengths, drafts, beams, also call signs, MMSI number, cell number, and also importantly the diesel capacity and water capacity, especially if you're doing any long passages. On the next page we have 2 pages which is telling you where all the equipment is you need to know on the boat, as in batteries, engine, how to start, stop, where the shut-off valves are, obviously where the emergency tiller, life raft, how to use the water tanks, the anchor windlass, and also the mainsail, how many reefs it's got, storm jib, and the helm. So all the information about the boat is on these 2 pages. On the next page we have a diagram showing you where all the through hull fittings are, as in head sinks, outlets, toilet inlets, speed transducers, so you know if you get any leaks on the boat, have a look round by where the through hull fittings are or anything like that. On the next page, which is an important one, is one again showing you where all the safety equipment is on board and where it's stowed. Next to that we have another copy of the inventory, but do pay close attention to what's in red, because that is all your safety equipment that is on board, and it tells you exactly where it is. On the next page we start going then through the boat papers. So it's just all the standard builder certificates, schedules, but an important one is your compass deviation card. So if you are doing any long passages, you just need to know the deviations for the compass. Apart from that, it is just all the certificates for all the safety equipment, and shows you that they're all in date and they've all been tested. Right, this is rib Shortstop. So when you first come down to the rib, we'll probably have the covers already taken off for you. So the first thing you're going to do is switch the battery on. The battery switch is located on the console down here. We use battery 1, which is what it's on at the moment. That's the main battery we use. If that one fails, we can then switch it over to battery 2. You cannot link the 2 together, it's either one or the other, or off. So with the batteries on, the chart plotter will already come on as soon as you turn the batteries on. So the switches we have here is your running lights, anchor light, which will be your steaming light as well, and the spare one does a VHF radio. To the left of that we have the bilge pump. This is always kept in auto, so it's on its own float switch at the back end, or you can switch it off or go to manual and press and hold, but normally it's always kept in auto as we are now. We also have shore power on the boat, so the shore power socket is there. This is only because obviously we don't want to run the batteries down while when it rains, because it just kick the bilge pump in all the time. So we always keep the battery charger on and plugged in when we're in alongside. Also, just under the steering wheel you have a vapor alarm. So this will detect, this is a sensor above the fuel tank. If you start getting too many fumes build up, it will send the alarm off like this. So if you hear that alarm, you know it's to do with the vapor from the petrol. So obviously we want to drop the engine down, so we just trim the engine down, standard on any rib. So we have the trim button on the throttle control. So we'll drop the engine all the way down. So that's down. Key in the ignition, and don't forget your kill cord, which will just fit in there. So always think, always wear your keel cord. Turn the power on, make sure we're in neutral. We got the fuel gauge, rev counter and the trim there. On the screen you will have your depth, speed and your magnetic heading. So with the power turned on, we can just start the engine. It's a 4-stroke engine, so there's no oil to go in it. It's just an easy start. We also have a fire extinguisher fitted behind the helm seat if you have any problems, and also underneath the 2 front seats there is throw lines. There's one under each seat. Under the middle seat on the starboard side will be paddles if you break down with the engine, or in there as well will be your first aid kit. Under the port middle seat you will have your TPAs, which is your thermal protection aids. You will also have your toolkit under there. And then under the starboard aft seat there are some spare lines, and under the port aft seat is a spare fuel can. So if we go back to the stern of the boat now, if the electric bilge pump fails to kick in, you do have an elephant's trunk fitted. So obviously you only do this when you're moving along, but if the bilge pump fails, you can drop your elephant's foot down as you're going along. That will allow the water to drain up, but please make sure you pull it back up and clip it in safely before you slow down, otherwise you're just going to fill the boat with water again. In the front seat, at the front, we have the pump, so you have the bellows in there and the flares are in there. We also have an 8-man life raft fitted in front of the seat, which is on a hydrostatic release. You can still release it manually, but it's on a hydrostatic release if you don't get chance. And then just in front of that we have the anchor locker with the anchor, which if you do use the anchor, make sure you bring the anchor line up through the fair lead and then lock it off on the cleat that's provided just underneath the bow. And that is Shortstop. Now Shortstop is fitted with a tracker. It's connected in with all the instruments, so it allows us to see what data, what speed you're doing, what depth and where you are. We do ask all our charterers to stay under 30 knots. Do not go over 30 knots. If you do, I will get a message sent to me on my phone telling me that you've gone over 30 knots. It will inform me. And if you do beach the boat, it will inform me if you go aground as well. So just bear that in mind when you're out there. Please keep the speed down to under 30 knots.